Please be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content here at the Madchester Insider. Thank you. This is the moment a cowardly police officer tried to save his own skin after attempting to murder his girlfriend and leaving her for dead in a hotel room. James Riley, 28, flew into a jealous rage and strangled Ellie Moxham after she had decided she loved a new man. On the night of the brutal attack, she had told her new partner that she wanted to be with him. As they shared texts, Riley saw red and strangled her for about 2 minutes, leaving her unconscious, having suffered a serious brain injury. He firstly called his parents, and only about 10 minutes later, then dialed 999. He then fled the scene before being eventually arrested about 5 hours later in West Yorkshire. CCTV footage released by Greater Manchester Police showed Riley running on the staircase to get to his Ford Fiesta at about 11:30 p.m. He then drove away erratically. He abandoned the vehicle in the car park, with it bearing signs of a collision, Manchester Crown Court heard. Riley then moved on foot and attempted to board a bus before taking a taxi. He took a taxi to Tesco in Gorton, withdrawing $250 in cash. Riley then took another taxi and asked to be driven to Bradford. He was dropped off at a petrol station off the M606 motorway. He arrived at his parents' home in West Yorkshire at 3:45 am. His mother alerted the police that he was there, and his father locked the door. Riley then locked himself in the bathroom and then climbed out of the window. Police caught him nearby at 4:09 am in the early hours of November 11, 2022. He eventually pleaded guilty to attempted murder and has now been jailed for 16 years following a hearing at Manchester Crown Court. The judge said Riley had abandoned Ms. Moxham in an effort to save your own skin. Riley, then an officer with Lancashire Police, has since been sacked by the force. Riley and Ms. Moxham had been together for a few years and bought a house in 2021, but their relationship was marred by his anger, aggression and jealousy, prosecutors said. She had agreed to attend a gig at the Apollo in Manchester on November 10th, which they had booked previously. The judge said it was a decision she will forever regret. She had to be placed into an induced coma following the attack, but regained consciousness the following day. She had since suffered issues including memory loss, issues with concentration, difficulty processing information, as well as fatigue and infrequent sleep paralysis. After the hearing, Detective Sergeant Heidi Cullum from GMP's Major Incident Team said, "Firstly, I would like to commend the bravery of the victim, who has throughout this case shown immense strength to tell her story. What happened to her on that night, by someone she should have been able to trust, is unthinkable. We hope now she can move on with the rest of her life, safe in the knowledge that he cannot commit this act of violence to anyone else whilst behind bars." The support and access GMP detectives received from our counterparts in Lancashire and West Yorkshire was key to ensure we conducted a prompt and effective investigation. As police officers, the public rightly expect the highest standards of behaviour and integrity. As a profession, we are all hurt by Riley's actions, which can never be justified, and we are pleased he will now face the consequences. Collectively, we remain committed to tackle all forms of domestic abuse, as well as safeguarding victims. We hope the public takes some confidence that Riley's actions do not reflect policing in any way, shape or form, with the vast majority being committed individuals focused on serving their communities and keeping them safe on a daily basis. Detective Superintendent Zoe Maney, Head of Professional Standards from Lancashire Police, added, "James Riley's behaviour clearly fell very far short of what we demand of our officers and staff, both on and off duty. Most of our staff are honest, hard-working people who just want to serve their communities, but when our employees fall below the standards we and the public rightly expect and erode the trust we depend upon to police effectively and with legitimacy, we will always act." Lancashire Constabulary is committed to tackling all forms of domestic abuse, safeguarding victims, and holding perpetrators of domestic abuse to account for their behaviour and crimes. We will not tolerate domestic abuse offending by any of our officers or staff, and will hold them to account both criminally and through our internal misconduct processes. We hope that the prompt action taken by our Professional Standards Department in dismissing this officer swiftly prior to the conclusion of the criminal investigation shows our commitment to tackling any allegations of this type against a serving police officer. We utterly condemn the actions of former Officer James Riley, and our thoughts are with the victim and those affected by this extremely serious and concerning crime.